1 of the pattern, all you're going to do is knit all stitches all the way across. I'm just going to go through these quickly because I'm assuming that you know how to do the knit stitch. Row 1 is done, and row 2 of the pattern you're simply going to purl all of your stitches. So the first couple of rows are just plain, nothing really special there. Then when you get to the 3rd and the 4th rows of this pattern, that is where the magic happens. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish purling all of my stitches. This is row 2. Okay, row 3 of the pattern, you're going to knit the first stitch, and then what you're going to do is knit 2 together all the way to the end of the row until you get to the last stitch. So if you don't know how to knit 2 together, it's very easy. All you're going to do is take the next 2 stitches on your left needle and knit them together as if they were one stitch. So with your right needle, go in the front legs of the next 2 stitches on your left needle here and just knit and pull them both off the left needle, and that's all. Knit 2 together, that simple. I'm just going to continue knitting 2 together until I get to the end of my row. And if you're a tight knitter, normally you might want to do the second row a little more loosely, just so that it'll be easier to get your knit 2 together on this row. Okay, the last stitch is just going to be knit. And that is row 3. And for row 4, you're going to knit the first stitch, and then you will be knitting the bar that is between the stitch you just knit and the next stitch on your left needle. And normally the instructions that I've seen for knitting the bar in between the 2 stitches is to take the left needle and pick up that stitch from front to back and then knit it. I find that is a little bit fiddly, so what I have been doing when I've been swatching with this particular stitch pattern is I just take my right needle and I go into that bar and knit, kind of like you would pick up and knit stitches. So you're going to knit the bar between the next stitch on your left needle and the stitch that you just knit on the right, and then you're going to knit 1. And do that all the way to the end of the row until you get to the last stitch. So again, you're going to knit the bar, oops, and then knit the next stitch. And something else, I'm always having to look up how to do particular techniques, and when I was double checking myself on how to knit this bar, some of the instructions that I saw said to knit the bar through the back loop, and when I was doing that, it did not create as big of a bump on the front. It was almost like I almost couldn't even see it. It almost wasn't there. So if you just knit that bar normally as you would a normal knit stitch, you'll get that nice bumpy, pebbly texture on the front of your fabric. And one more thing I just wanted to point out, when you get to your last 2 stitches, you're going to knit the bar as you have been doing, knit 1, And then you're not going to knit the bar between the stitch on your right needle and the last stitch. Doing that will cause you to have an extra stitch on your needles, and I was doing that when I first started testing out this stitch pattern, and ripped out I don't know how many swatches because I kept getting an extra stitch and couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, and that's what I was doing wrong. So just don't knit the bar between the last 2 stitches and you should be good. And then you're just going to repeat those 4 rows for the pattern.